Search House is Joshua D. Falconer, and today I'm going to be ranking all 6 Toy Story and Lightyear franchise movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Let me know down in the comments below what your ranking of these lists would be, which I'm including the latest Lightyear movie, as well as the original cartoon non-canonical film Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. So that's just my list I'm going to be including with this. And you can include your own, however many movies you have seen. Let me know all that in the comments below. But without further ado, coming in last place, we have Lightyear, the latest one that unfortunately misses the mark with all of the adventure that it has within the film. Ultimately, it ends up feeling a little bit hollow. With some of the characters that get a little annoying at times, the jokes don't always quite land. And while it's a space adventure that should be exciting and adventurous with the Space Rangers we get, overall the Space Rangers mission isn't as much focusing on the Space Rangers we should be learning about, because they're stuck down on the planet, feeling limited, and the adventure Lightyear goes to through trying to save them fails time and time again, where while it ultimately makes sense for the story it's going for, it just doesn't quite click with me in the end with what all they're going for with the characters involved. Coming in number 5, we have Toy Story, the original, that has this classic feel that I kind of really enjoy for what they're going for, introducing these characters, creating a sentiment with younger children as well as adults involved, wondering how it's like for toys to be alive when no one is looking at them. And so it's just really enjoyable with that fun sort of setup within this culture of toys involved. But overall, the Sid character does have its problems with being a villain, where I just don't particularly am fond with him being such a psychotic sort of child that there's not much to his character. It feels like an underdeveloped villain, that he has these rockets or grenades or other sort of maniacal schemes, that he's always in the right place to get the characters and ends up taking control, that it feels a lot less developed than we should be getting from the characters of this story. Coming in number 4, we have Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Yes, greater than the recent Lightyear film that I just highly enjoy, and maybe this set up my expectations for the newer one a little bit higher, but this is the Space Rangers mission that I expected, where while some of the jokes don't quite land as well with some of the humor that you're getting naturally from the Toy Story franchise, overall the characters involved get a little more broad background. You're getting more reasons why we should care about these adventures and about the Space Rangers in general, Buzz Lightyear as this character. And it's just a fun little adventure that you know is not canonical to the Toy Story franchise, but it is this movie taking place in the Toy Story world, at least in the non-canon side of things, that you can just appreciate the differences with this and getting more behind the culture of the little green men and those aliens, and just the attack with Zurg, making him get the attention he deserves and screen time that we don't quite see in the long-running franchise. And so you're getting a lot more of something where Zurg is actually a villain, and he's getting much more of a scheme to take over the world that makes it a much bigger surprise for this TV movie that we just don't get in the main franchise. And coming in number 3, we have Toy Story 4. Highly enjoyable. It's one that surprised most, just because you thought the franchise should have ended at 3, and yet they found a way to pass on the toys to Bonnie, finding a new sort of story to tell about lost toys and what their lives are like, as well as creating a craft and making that into something that's alive just from Forky alone, and then creating these excellent villains from Gabby Gabby that can be a little off-putting at times, but overall just the general sense of having depth and reason behind her character, why she's doing what she's doing, and then this character arc for Woody to go through, trying to be the favorite toy again, and then ultimately becoming this character that can go back with Bo Peep to be just finding himself, finding who he really is, as what is supposedly a lost toy, but actually finding his true self. It becomes sentimental in its own means that I just highly enjoy. Number two, we have Toy Story 2, such a great classic cinema that I just highly enjoyed more this time around. The technical elements to the film make the story so well investful. Al's Toy Barn creating this evil scheme about this sellers on eBay and how well different toys can be profitable, the remarket, and just what they're doing with their and adding some new fun characters to the lineup with Woody's Roundup, which is a classic song, and adding more cinema moments that you just quite remember for what they're all going for. It's a little goofy at times, but overall, Toy Story 2 is something to remember. But coming in at number one for the Toy Story franchise is Toy Story 3, one that really hits the mark in every which way, creating this way for Andy going off to college, the toys figuring out what they're going to do, believing they're going out in the attic, while only Woody is going to take him to college, and then going in throughout the whole nursery mess, and having a good side and a negative side, and having Lotso as one of the best Toy Story villains out there, just creating this great environment for good and evil, but also having different sides to what it means for a toy to be replaced and what it doesn't, how toys can feel betrayed, and just having all these different emotions, and ultimately going that trash disposal scene, creating that team of characters that you actually believe might have been burned up, and that being the end for the toys to cry. And ultimately, that becomes an emotional joyride that by the end of the film, we're getting the toys passed on as well. And that is where I love Toy Story 3 out of all the Toy Story franchise. So that's just my review and ranking of all 6 Toy Story films, including a non-canonical Toy Story Buzz Lightyear film. Let me know down in the comments below how you would rank these films. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.